It's got some carry, and it is gone. Second home run of the afternoon for George Springer.
And the 0-2 to Gurriel. Swing and a miss. He got him with a fastball.
And the 0-2. Fastball in the air to right field. It is playable. Toppy is there, and the Blue Jays win it.
The month of May dawns for the Blue Jays after a very successful April, a month in which they won 8 one-run games, including yesterday's. Today it's Kevin Gausman's turn. For more, to the booth we go. Dan Shulman is with Pat Tabler.
Jamie, Kevin Gausman is a guy the Blue Jays have had an interest in for quite a while. And Tabby, they finally got their man this past offseason, and the results have been pretty spectacular so far.
So far this season, Kevin Gausman has all been about precision in the strike zone. Fill up that strike zone with the baseballs and put the pressure on the hitters. He's faced 95 batters. Of course, he hasn't walked anybody. He's thrown a lot of strikes, a ton of strikes with all his pitches, but it's about where his pitches are, I think, for me, that has made him so successful. Note the fastball in the strike zone. That's the setup hitters. But note where all the sliders, the splitters, and the changes, all off the plate. He has that ability to make adjustments within the game. And when he gets to 2 strikes, he can throw that splitter. He can bury it out of the strike zone. Because he throws so many pitches for strikes, you're going to get a lot of swings and misses out of the strike zone. So far this season, Kevin Gausman has been everything the Blue Jays had hoped for.
He will make his 5th start in a Blue Jay uniform this afternoon, and a win for the Blue Jays would make it 7 straight series to start the season that they have either won or tied. That would match a franchise record.
Dan, to alter a popular song by the band U2, this is Sunday, Vladdy Sunday. We've got the Blue Jays taking on the Astros on Sportsnet next.
Collaboration between the Astros and the Blue Jays as Yuli and Lourdes Gurriel bring out the lineup cards for their respective teams today.
You know, that is so cool, like that, with both teams doing that, and then right at the end they get to hug each other. You know, we don't play Houston the rest of the season. This is it. So the Gurriel brothers get to meet at home plate, and I'm sure they'll be talking on the phone the rest of the season.
Whoever had that idea, well done. Good call to get the Gurriels out there for the lineup card today as the Blue Jays and Astros play the rubber match of this 3-game series. Dan Shulman and Pat Tabler, Arden Zwelling here at the ballpark. Glad you're along with us. And the Astros are glad to see Michael Brantley back in the lineup after missing the last couple of games, being under the weather. Dusty Baker's happy to have him back in the lineup and hitting in that 2 spot for Houston. 11-10 on the season. The Blue Jays have taken 3 out of 5 from the Astros so far this year. Here is the Astro lineup brought to you by Bet365. And Kyle Tucker, a guy who continues to be hot. A 6-game hitting streak, 10 for 21 during that stretch. Had a couple of hits in yesterday's game. You look at 2, 4, 5, 6. Brantley, Alvarez, Gurriel, Tucker, 4 extremely dangerous hitters, facing a guy who has been as good as advertised, better than advertised so far in Kevin Gausman.
Yeah, I think better than advertised. We knew all about him, the great season that he had last year with San Francisco, the hoopla when they signed him as a big-name free agent this offseason, but I think he has outpitched those expectations so far this year in his 4 starts. Opponents hitting just .266 against him, 31 strikeouts and no walks for Kevin Gausman. He's been able to use that fastball anytime in the count. He's a master at reading bats and reading the opposition and then diffusing that bat by using those different pitches. He's just been outstanding. Last time he faced the Houston Astros was just last season as a member of the San Francisco Giants. He got 13 outs in that game. 9 of them came from strikeouts. Defensively for the Blue Jays this afternoon, who will play behind Kevin Gausman. Vinny Capra will get the start in left field. He'll be joined by Zimmer and Springer as George slides over to right field. Guerrero, Espinal on the right side, Bichette, Chapman on the left side. Alejandro Kirk will catch Kevin Gausman again. And in left field, that's Vinny Capra. Came up as an infielder, started playing the outfield last season. Talked to him today. He said, yeah, I feel okay out there. I can play all over the diamond if they need be to do that. But left field, I feel pretty comfortable out there. And he gets his first big league start.
Major league debut today for Vinny Capra, former 20th round pick back in 2018. We'll tell you more about him as the ball game progresses. Charlie Montoyo getting just about every available right-handed bat in there because the Astros have a lefty on the mound in Framber Valdez. A Junior Jays Sunday here at the ballpark. The Blue Jays in the baby blues and the Astros in the bright orange. A colorful matchup here this Sunday afternoon. The Blue Jays have yet to lose a series this year. They win today, and that streak remains intact. Chas McCormick leads it off and takes just a hair outside. Nestor Ceja is the home plate umpire.
Pretty good first pitch right there. That's where you want to live. I think if you're Kevin Gausman, stay down and away to Chas McCormick. He had a pretty good game yesterday against Jose Barrios.
McCormick 2 for 5 with a single and a double in yesterday's game. And a fastball grounded sharply to short. Up with it, Bo Bichette. One down. Why has Kevin Gausman been so successful this year? Because he is getting hitters to chase pitches outside of the strike zone more than any other pitcher in a baseball. And Tabby, it's not even close. 13% more than Max Fried, and the vast majority of those chases are coming on the splitter.
And it's all about throwing strikes. If you can throw strikes with your fastball, you're going to get those chases with the splitter or the slider or the changeup. We talked about that in the opening, about how he lives on the edges with his off-speed pitches, but he's got to get ahead, and he's got to be able to then expand.
Starts Michael Brantley with a fastball for a strike. Brantley at 290 on the season. He and Yuli Gurriel each have hit .365 against the Blue Jays in their careers. Those are the top two averages for anybody ever with more than 100 at-bats against Blue Jay pitching. Another fastball, and it's 0-2.
He's got such a simple approach at the plate, a very short swing. He's very cerebral also. He will think along with that pitcher. This is going to be a lot of fun. The veteran Brantley versus the veteran Gausman. That first swing looks like he's looking for that splitter.
Brantley's got to be thinking about that splitter. There it is right there, and a weak contact towards second. Easy play for Espinal. 2 down. So Tabby, take us inside the mind of the hitter with some 3D graphics here. Why is this splitter so tough?
Watch the way this ball moves out of the strike zone. And again, it has to do a lot about throwing a lot of strikes early in the count with their fastball. That splitter looks like a fastball and then dives out under the zone. Look at that. 61. The swings and misses of pitches out of the strike zone. But Kevin's got to fill up the strike zone. We saw him do it against Boston early on with the slider his first time. And there's a great slider on the first pitch, or the fastball, and then throw that split.
So 53% chase rate overall for Gausman, a 73% chase rate on the splitter. Aledmus Diaz filling in at third and hitting third for Alex Bregman, who is not in the lineup today.
So stuff, game plan, smarts, and he's got the smarts. I mean, he really understands how to pitch, and I think he understands what hitters are trying to do to him.
Diaz has popped it up. Chapman's got room in foul territory, and Gausman makes very quick work of the Astros in the top of the first. Thiago Espinal settling in to get a good look at the pitcher in anticipation of his first at bat of the afternoon. Right up at the top. It can't have been fun yesterday for Astros fans back in Houston to watch the game and see George Springer hit not one but 2 home runs off his former team. Springer is really on a roll right now, hitting for average, hitting for power, playing some very good defense, and giving the Blue Jays everything they could have hoped for.
And you've got to be careful right out of the chute if you're going to face the Blue Jays, and that's going to be Framber Valdez this season. Valdez last time out against Texas, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 6 innings, no earned runs. I think he's the ace right behind Justin Verlander this year. At times he can get a little wild. He's faced the Blue Jays a couple times, one not so good, one really good against the Jays. He's starting to throw a slider this year. Last year it was just fastball, curveball, changeup. He's trying to incorporate a slider a little bit this year. I think that's why the walk rate's up so high.
Heavy sinker, very good curveball, lots of ground balls. And here's Springer to lead it off. The Astros will shift him on the infield. And Valdez will start him with a strike. Valdez came up in 2018. So Springer, of course, knows him well, was a teammate of his for a couple of years. Valdez bouncing back and forth between the bullpen and the rotation his first 2 years. Inside, 1-1.
Tough to get the ball in the air against Valdez. Gets a lot of ground balls with that 2-seamer. He's got a big break on that curveball. They're just hitting 158 against that curveball.
And it was 125 last year. It's a real weapon for him. He throws it 27% of the time. Springer hasn't seen it yet, but it's coming. Meanwhile, for Springer, with the leadoff home run yesterday, that's the 7th he has had as a Blue Jay, already in a tie for 4th for the most leadoff home runs in franchise history.
And you can see 46 career leadoff home runs, tied for 6th most. He is tied with Jimmy Rollins. Next on that list, another former Blue Jay, Curtis Granderson, at 47.
3-1. Valdez has made 4 starts this year, 2 of them, including the last one that Tabby told you about, very good. The first one and the last one, very good. The middle 2, not so much. He walked 5 in 3 innings against the Diamondbacks. He gave up 6 runs in 4 1/3 against the Angels. 3-2 now on Springer, so he's been a little hot and cold in the early going.
And he can be when he's locked in. He is tough. As Vladdy giving Vinny Capra a little game report.
Bounced foul up the third baseline by Springer. We talked to Vinny Capra a couple of hours before the game, and he seemed calm, and it's all good. I mean, I'm sure he's got some butterflies, but he's keeping it inside right now.
No family here. He's hoping to see them when the team goes to Cleveland next weekend. Yeah, he looks calm to me.
Inside, Springer aboard on a leadoff walk.
Defensively for the Houston Astros, they are 3rd in the American League in fielding percentage. The defense brought to you by Bet365. Yordan Alvarez will get the start in left field. McCormick and Kyle Tucker will also play in the outfield. Pena and Goodrum have been good up the middle. Diaz will get the start with Bregman on the bench today. Gurriel and Maldonado rounds it out. In that left field, Yordan Alvarez, this is his 6th start in the outfield this season. He had 41 games in left field last year, normally a designated hitter. It looks foreign. That glove looks foreign on his hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, so they're not quite at their best defensively in the outfield as Bo Bichette takes a curveball for a strike. Bo 2 for 4, had a stolen base in yesterday's game. Whoa, he smokes it to short, but right at Jeremy Pena. Man, oh man, did that get out of there in the blink of an eye.
And that was probably going to be 2. It might have scored Zimmer if it gets by him. Shades of Friday when they faced Urquidy and they hit 16 balls 95 miles an hour or greater when he was in there. You can't guide it once you hit it. And I'm sure Pena will say that ball caught me.
111 miles an hour off the bat for Bichette, but it's an out. And now here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting 286, 6 homers. Vladdy yesterday had a frustrating afternoon. 0 for 4. 2 strikeouts, 2 groundouts. Did not like 2 or 3 pitches that were called strikes on him. You'll remember him slamming the bat down after one of them.
He's got his game face on today. Not that he doesn't every day, but today I think he really wants to make up for what happened in yesterday's ball game. Felt like he was getting squeezed a little bit. He wants to show him, finish up this homestand strong.
Fouls it off right side, and Valdez jumps out in front 0-2. Of course, in Friday night's game, the big 3-run homer for the Blue Jays, although they would go on to lose that game 11-7. They bounced back with a tense one yesterday, a 2-1 win. Jordan Romano another save as Vladdy looks over the breaking ball down and in. Valdez did not start pitching until he was 16. Another one of these late bloomers, really, that the Astros have signed. He was signed as a 21-year-old. He's from the Dominican Republic. And it was a tryout where they saw him pitch. Liked what they saw, brought him to their academy that a lot of teams have in the Dominican Republic, offered him a contract for $10,000, and he signed it. You know, 21 is old to be signed, right? But they have signed a lot of guys 19, 20, 21 that for one reason or another weren't signed earlier, and they've gotten incredible value out of these pitchers.
Yeah, and they don't spend a whole lot of money when they're a little bit older. Luis Garcia,
one of them, right? Jose Urquidy, one of them. I mean, that's 3/5 of their rotation.
Some of the guys out in the bullpen that we have seen.
Springer the lead, and finally Valdez will step off.
You got a little bit more of a finished product also as a 20 or 21-year-old as opposed to a 16 or 17-year-old.
One and two on Guerrero with a 1 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And the pitch. Vladdy sends it up the middle, but it's met near the bag by Goodrum in the easy double play to end the inning. So 1 complete at the Rogers Center, no score.
Finger, playing with it, rubbing it on his pants. Don't worry, it's just a blister. It's just the same thing that Ryan Baracki's on the injured list with right now, the same thing that Rich Hill lost seasons to, that Aaron Sanchez has lost most of his career to. For Kevin Gausman, this is actually a good thing. When his splitter is really working, the amount of force that he's putting on that ball and friction he is creating inevitably creates a blister on his right middle finger, and it's something he'll manage throughout the year. He's got an extensive finger care routine where he is injecting zinc oxide in there to help break down collagen. He's using a laser pen to deliver energy into the tissue. He's even got a product called Dermabond that he'll use to reinforce his fingernail and glue back together pieces of his nail that inevitably crack off. This is just the price that he pays guys to throw that splitter, and with a 52% whiff rate on the pitch this season, I'd say he's happy to pay it.
Absolutely. A lot of maintenance, but a lot of success in the early going. That splitter about as effective as any pitch for any pitcher in baseball today. Yordan Alvarez leads off the second, and he takes a pitch low for ball 1. The Blue Jays in the 3-4 again as Espinal goes out to right. Bichette way over on the right side of the infield, and Chapman pretty much playing shortstop right now. And you'll see this against Alvarez and maybe Tucker with nobody on base. Look at the movement on that pitch.
If you're looking fastball and he throws that thing right there, I don't think you have a chance. Yordan Alvarez homered yesterday on a changeup, but this is no ordinary change of pace. That thing is going straight down.
And again, he makes it look like a strike about halfway to the plate, and then it just dives. It dives a couple of feet. Outside, 3 balls and a strike. And in there with a fastball, it's fouled back 3-2. So from what we understand, the gang out of the Astros bullpen are kind of giving it to Espinal about being an outfielder right now. But he's taking it. Espinal gets his running in during the game, going back and forth all the time. And he got him again to the splitter. And another strikeout. First of the day, 32nd of the year for Kevin Gausman without having given up a walk, and he battled back from 3-1 to keep that streak intact.
At any time, he will throw that thing. It's a strike. He starts to swing. I mean, it's over the plate, but it just disappears on Yordan Alvarez. And I love the confidence that he has in that pitch, that he can throw it at any time.
So now Yuli Gurriel, the batter. The Blue Jays held him in check yesterday, 0 for 3 with a walk after he had 3 hits in the game on Friday night. The Astros a little short-handed. No Altuve, he's still on the IL. Bregman not in the lineup today, so their lineup looks a little bit different in certain spots. Another fastball, and it's 0-2. We talked about this, I think, the last start for Gausman as well. I mean, those 2 pitches, fastball, splitter, comprise over 80% of his arsenal. Some sliders, a very occasional changeup, but there's still no pattern to him. Even though he throws 2 of them almost all the time, you can't sit on one or the other.
They come out of the same arm slot. One is up and one is down, and they look very similar.
A fastball to freeze him. Back-to-back strikeouts. And for Kevin Gausman, that's now 100 batters that he has faced this season without issuing a walk. That's just the 5th time that has happened in the majors in the last 10 years.
Yeah, last AL starter with 100-plus streak. You got to go all the way back to 2004, John Lieber, when he was with the Yankees. Gausman's just a strike-throwing machine. Lots of confidence, too.
2 down on back-to-back strikeouts. You got Alvarez with a splitter. He got Gurriel with a fastball. Espinal's gone back out to the outfield now for Kyle Tucker. I think the Blue Jays will be glad to see the last of this guy after this game today. He has gotten really hot. The overall numbers aren't great because he started off so cold, but over the last week or so, he's as hot as anybody.
The last time they saw him last week, he had that bingo number going 087. Now he's up over 220 and rising.
Remember, he was messing with batting gloves, putting them on, taking them off.
Got 3 hits with them and then took them off the next day. Still had a multi-hit game. That's because he likes to always dig down in the dirt like that, rub that dirt in his hands, old school. Get a good feel. It's almost like that's his pine tar, the sweat and the dirt.
The 0-2 into right field for a base hit. One of the rare splitters there by Gausman that stayed up a little bit. It didn't dive below the knees.
You know his changeup and his splitter are held almost the same. And there's the split grip right there. And you're right. It didn't dive as much. If it dives, he swings over the top of that. It didn't. He was able to get enough wood on it to get their first hit.
So with 2 down, here's Nico Goodrum, the second baseman, batting in the 7th spot today. Switch hitter. And a fastball in for a strike. 96 on that fastball from Gausman. He's touched 97 already today. Snaps a throw to first, and Tucker back in.
Tucker with 14 stolen bases last year. He's got 2 already this year. This is a pretty good time to run. 2 outs, no score. See if you can get yourself into scoring position. You can score on a single.
He's going. Swing and a miss. Throw down by Kirk. And safe at second is Tucker with a stolen base.
And Blue Jays are going to have a second look at this one. Kirk came out of there firing. The ball was tailing on him just a little bit. And with them being in the shift like they are, Bo's got to come over. And now the throw's going to be offline, and I think he missed him. It'll go as a stolen base. What a great time to run, I think. 2 outs and a split ball pitcher.
And now 2-strike count, though, on Goodrum as Gausman tries to end it right here. Fastball fouled back.
There's been a lot of swing and miss in Nico Goodrum's game this year. A lot. It's had a tough time getting his season going. So a little surprised there that they were going to challenge him with the fastball.
Again, the 0-2. And that splitter dives in the dirt, but Goodrum wouldn't chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gausman signed to a 5-year deal in the offseason by the Blue Jays. Has made 4 starts thus far, including facing the Red Sox back-to-back in his last 2 starts. Checks the runner and the 1-2. And he got him. Back to the splitter again. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Gausman as the Astros leave a man on at second. 50% off ticket packs. Choose the games you want and the number of tickets that work for you. Visit BlueJays.com/ticket packs now. And a friendly reminder, this is not the end of the homestand today. It continues with 3 more games. The New York Yankees are coming to town for 3 beginning tomorrow night.
And they miss Garrett Cole, who was sensational yesterday. And did you say Severino?
I think Severino's pitching today.
So they missed their 2 best starters?
Jordan Montgomery, Jamison Tyone, Nestor Cortez.
Cortez
is off to a great start.
Yeah, he's off to a good start, man.
Stripling into Montgomery, Manoah and Tyone, Kikuchi and Cortez the next 3 nights here at the ballpark. No score in this one. Bottom 2. Here's Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Curveball in the dirt for ball 1. Gurriel, Matt Chapman, and Alejandro Kirk here in the second. Blue Jays had a leadoff walk that was erased on a double play. Didn't score in the first. As Lourdes takes up and away, close but no, and it's 2-0.
When he is taking those pitches, he's seeing that ball, and that's when good things starts to happen with him. Great balance at the plate.
Grounds it down to third, backhanded by Diaz, and he fires a bullet over to first to get him 1 down.
I thought I had a chance off the bat, but a good play by Diaz. Good swing by Gurriel. I think he's ready to get hot, go on one of those streaks. Diaz in the game because Alex Bregman has the day off. The former Blue Jay showing off that arm across the infield.
Plays 5 different spots for the Astros. Second, short, third, left, right. Plays a lot against lefties, but as you said, if any one of the regulars is out, he's generally the guy that Dusty Baker taps him on the shoulder and says, hey, you're playing today. Here's Matt Chapman. And a strike taken, 0-1. Hit a home run in the series opener on Friday, went 0 for 2 with a walk in yesterday's game. Two very different games, an 11-7 win for Houston Friday and then a 2-1 win for the Blue Jays yesterday.
And if I had to guess what this afternoon's going to be, a little bit like yesterday's game.
Taking the under. Ground ball down to first. Easy play for Yuli Gurriel. 2 down.
If the under is 8 or 9, yeah. I don't know what the under is, but yesterday's ball game was sensational. A lot of great pitching, a lot of great defense. I'm sure we'll see the same thing this afternoon from these 2 guys.
Springer's feeling it. Trying to liven up.
Longer. I want it longer.
Everybody else is kind of in like Sunday day game vibe right now. George doesn't have that setting, right?
There is,
so,
yeah.
There's Alejandro Kirk. And the Springer the Blue Jays are seeing, and I'm talking about the vibe and the dugout and all that stuff. That's the same guy the Astros saw for all those years, and you know they missed that part of him too.
Yeah, when he was on the injured list, they wanted him on the bench just because of his leadership and how he keeps everybody loose.
0-2. Valdez again trying to get in on the hands of Kirk.
Play with guys like that, and they were a ball of energy every single day. And you know what the beauty was? They never got down. They could have been 0 for 5, 0 for 10. They were the same guy coming to the ballpark every single day.
Well, a long look in by Valdez, now ready. And the curveball to get him swinging. Strikes out Kirk on 3 pitches. Quickly 2 in the books here, no score. Center. Buy and manage tickets, unlock offers, and access exclusive content. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Top of the 3rd, no score. George Springer now out in right field. That's where he is starting today, and we have seen this from time to time. It's kind of a load management thing without taking him out of the game. When Bradley Zimmer's in there, Zimmer's a great center fielder, so at times Zimmer's in center and Springer's in right. They've also spotted George in. Charlie and the Blue Jays have at DH every now and again, which is what they want to do with the DH spot, give guys a partial day off. All of this is intended to keep Springer healthy and fresh the entire season.
Yeah, just his second start in right field this season. He has played right field 7 times, but just the second time that he has started out there. And when you talk about load management, you do a lot of running as a center fielder. You're covering both gaps, and Charlie understands that. George is on the bases a lot, so sometimes to keep his bat in the lineup and not DH, put him in right field.
Jeremy Pena, the rookie shortstop, leads off the 3rd for the Astros as Kevin Gausman falls behind 2-0. Pena hitting .222 with 4 homers, and 2 of those home runs have come against the Blue Jays.
Dropped down a bunt yesterday in the ball game and did that on his own. Missed a sign, thought he saw it, dropped the bunt down.
This one goes a long way down the left field line, but it's foul into the second deck. This is a strong young man. That ball was inside. He had to pull his hands in, and he still hit it a long way.
Yeah, a long way. Pulled it. When he learns to hit that ball through that and keep it fair, he's going to be dangerous. He's played only 30 games above Class A advanced. 2-0 fastball inside. Hands come in. You see he goes around that just a little bit. But that's a major pop.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
But what I was talking about is he did that bunt. He thought he saw a sign and he put it down, and then he understood, you know what, that is not the right play. And after the game, he said, you know what, that's on me. That's my bad. As he is introduced to that splitter to Kevin Gausman, and Dusty Baker said he's learning. You know, I'm not going to fault him. It's just a thing for a kid who's only played 30 games above Class A advanced to learn.
The 2-2, and he got him back to the splitter again. Exactly the same spot. 4 strikeouts already for Gausman.
Well, the Blue Jays have seen that he can handle the fastball. A couple of home runs that you mentioned, and then that long foul ball to left field. So no more fastballs for you.
So Gausman looking very much like the guy he has been through the early part of the season. He struck out 4 of the first 8 batters, and here's the number 9 hitter, the catcher Martin Maldonado. You know, the funny part too is because they take a lot of fastballs, and maybe it's in part because they're thinking about the splitter, maybe even early in the count, who knows. But he gets a lot of fastballs in there for called strikes.
I don't know if you're hitting down in the lineup and you get a first pitch fastball.
How about a second pitch fastball?
You shouldn't be looking for the splitter early in the count.
Right. But now
now you're going to get it.
He's taken himself into an 0-2 count
Yeah.
here by not swinging at the fastballs in the zone. Fastball hit high in the air to center. Lots of room out there for Zimmer. 2 down.
Yeah, you get a lot of takes on that fastball because Gausman, I think, has a great sense when hitters are looking for that splitter, either watching them or seeing their swings or a little history. He's got a great sense of when to use his fastball, and you see a lot of them taken right down the middle.
And he's got a good one. It is 95, 96. Top of the order, Chas McCormick now with 2 down. And then that's the slider. And we don't talk about it as much because it's the 3rd pitch in the arsenal, but it's pretty good too.
Yeah, we asked him about that slider usage the first time he faced Boston. He said, yeah, I wanted to establish that slider early on to get them off my fastball and my splitter. So I threw it a lot, and it really surprised him. So what did he do the next time he faced him? He took the slider and replaced it with his fastball, and it really confused the Boston Red Sox. Do you think he pitched better the first time against Boston or the second time?
The first one felt, for lack of a better term, easier, but I think the second one he pitched better.
I do too.
Yeah.
He pitched into the 9th inning on the first one.
Yeah.
Had 8 strikeouts. Didn't pitch as long, but I thought he was more effective, had more strikeouts, and he was facing him for the second time in a week.
Another 0-2 count. 36 pitches, 28 strikes for Gausman. You know, a lot of talk about, well, he's coming from the National League West, going to the American League East, and he'd been there with Baltimore at the beginning of his career, but he's a different guy now. But boy, there has been 0 adjustment period required at all for Kevin Gausman. And he rings up another one. Splitter in the dirt. 5 strikeouts through 3. Vinny Capra is moments away from his first major league at bat. Playoffs begin tomorrow night on Sportsnet. Got a great doubleheader for you. It gets started with the Lightning and the Leafs at 7:30 Eastern on Sportsnet and CBC. And then the nightcap, the Oilers host the Kings in Edmonton. Great time of year. Baseball in full swing. Stanley Cup playoffs beginning tomorrow night. Here at the ballpark, no score, bottom of the 3rd. Final game of this series between the Astros and the Blue Jays. And it'll be Santiago Espinal, then Vinny Capra with his first major league at bat. He's on deck right now. And then Bradley Zimmer. Curveball, low, ball 1. Espinal at 261 on the season. Thought about it, but took a strike. 1-1. And a little down and in, ball 2 from Framber Valdez. George Springer, Bo Bichette have already seen Valdez once today. Hoping to get up there again this inning. The Blue Jays kind of middle of the pack in runs scored on the season, despite some other numbers that suggest they should be better. There's a ground ball up the middle to his left, goes Pena, and he'll make a nice play to retire Espinal. And that sets the stage for Vinny Capra to walk to the plate and get an at-bat in the major leagues for the first time. Capra played at the University of Richmond. He is 25 years of age, from Melbourne, Florida. A 20th round pick out of Richmond in 2018. Had a good year at AA New Hampshire last year, hit .327. This year in 69 at-bats at AAA Buffalo, hitting .304, 3 homers. Has only struck out 8 times in 69 at-bats.
Went to the same college as his outfield coach and first base coach, Mark Bedzinski, is a Richmond Spider. He got a big thrill seeing his name up on the scoreboard during batting practice today.
Tops it to third, and Alenmis Diaz will throw him out for out number 2. Yeah, it was actually kind of a funny moment. What the great crew here with the Rogers Center does before the game is their graphics, whatever's going to go up during the game, they make sure everything looks right. Capra's new, so they popped his giant headshot and his name up on the scoreboard, and he was at the plate at the time with a few of the other players, and all of a sudden everything stopped, and he's looking up at this larger-than-life Vinny Capra up on the scoreboard.
He's going to do okay. He's known as a good contact hitter, high average hitter, high on base guy. Not a lot of power, but he can put the bat on the ball.
So 2 down for Bradley Zimmer, who continues to play very good defense when he's in there for the Blue Jays, but is still struggling at the plate. He is 2 for 29 thus far. Takes it a little low. 1-1. The pitchers have been in complete command so far today. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
You know, you can say that all around baseball this year, that pitchers have been in command. We are seeing a lot of 3-2s, 2-1s, 4-3 games everywhere, not just the Blue Jay games.
Offense is way down from a year ago. If you're putting up the same numbers as a hitter as you had a year ago, you're having a better year. A lot of talk about the ball having more drag, not carrying as far. Justin Verlander, he can succeed. Doesn't matter what the ball feels.
He can use a Nerf ball,
Yeah.
and he's going to get outs. It doesn't matter. This guy is a pro's pro. I put him and Max Scherzer in the same category.
That first ballot Hall of Famer category.
Yeah.
Valdez has it, and Zimmer and the Blue Jays go in order. So we are through 3. No score. It's that one gets there a lot quicker than the others, so the timing is messed up as well.
Yeah, it's backwards and forwards. That red one, the fastball, you don't have as much time. Look at that, 5 feet 4 inch difference. So it's the timing of it also, and he's got enough fastball at just about 95 miles an hour, and the separation of the four-seamer and the splitter about 10 miles an hour difference, and the drop, you can see why he'd be so difficult to square up and to hit.
Michael Brantley will lead it off for the Astros. You know, Brantley about as experienced and cerebral a hitter as there is in the game. He grounded out his first time up. So this is a really interesting matchup, a real, thinking kind of matchup between a Kevin Gausman and a Michael Brantley. Right at the top of the zone, 0-2.
Yeah, what Brantley's trying to do to him and what he's trying to do to Michael Brantley, because they're both adjustment type of guys. And I like to sit here and say, okay, what would I do? And for some, I'd have to try and figure out a way to take away his best pitch, and that's his splitter. Boy, he humped up on that one at 97, thinking he's going to look for it. And I don't know if players nowadays move around in the box as much as they did in the past. Maybe you move up in the box a little bit to try and take away that late break of the splitter. Now, Gausman will pick up on that, I'm sure, and feed you fastballs.
Splitter, and Brantley does well to get a piece of it, and it remains 1-2.
You would put your toe hold in there, and then if you're going to move, look at that. It's a strike, and then it's not a strike. You kind of cover that up, step out, and then you move up a little bit closer towards that pitcher to try and take away that break and hit it before you get the big break.
Fastball low, 2-2. So a couple of low fastballs in this at bat, which we haven't seen a lot of from Gausman this year.
Yeah, maybe he was reaching back for a little something extra. Catchers then will pick up on that. And the good ones they'll notice if you're moving around in that batter's box.
Alejandro Kirk and Kevin Gausman using pitch comm, so Gausman is ready to go. He had the sign before he even stepped on the rubber. In the air to shallow center field, and an easy play for Zimmer, one down. Originally a 4th overall pick, Kevin Gausman was, by Baltimore in 2012 out of LSU. Made his major league debut the next year in 2013 and was a regular starter for a number of years with the Orioles. Had some success, but he was not this guy when he was with the Orioles. Slider on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. He really kind of took it to a new level the last couple of years with the Giants.
He was sinker slider guy, I think, when he was with Baltimore. They were trying to make him into something that he really wasn't. He found himself when he was with San Francisco when he picked up that split. He's from Colorado, so you can probably figure out who his idol was growing up. Doc, who was also from Colorado.
Yep. Roy Halladay.
Yeah, a sinker slider kind of guy, and that's who he was when he was, a younger pitcher when he was first coming up. He had the big wind up, hands over the head, and
grounded to short and under the glove of Bichette into the outfield for the second error of the series on Bo Bichette.
Number 5 on the season. Nobody works harder than Bo. He works on this play every single day. At 10:30 this morning, he was out here working on ground balls, rounding into it, and just had the reach for that one. Just did not get himself in front of that one, and it reached for it. When you're like that, you want the next one hit right at you.
So runner at first, one out for Yordan Alvarez, who struck out his first time up. It's a little bit outside, ball 1. And that one's in there, a ball and a strike. Chapman has, or rather Gausman, forgive me, has allowed 1 hit so far. Valdez has not allowed a hit yet. There's only been 1 hit in the game, and that was a single by Kyle Tucker back in the second for the Astros. 1-2, another fastball.
Again, a master of reading bats. This guy crushes non-fastballs, so they're trying to heat him up right now.
Short lead at first by Diaz. And the 1-2 to Alvarez. Stays with a fastball. 98 on that one. Fouled back. Here's what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Dennis.
slugging percentage on non-fastballs. When he hit a changeup out of the ballpark here yesterday, that's a pretty good slugging percentage. 1.038.
Yeah, that's not OPS. That's slugging percentage.
That's just half of it, right?
Season just about 3 weeks old, but still. So let's see if they stay with the fastball again. Swing and a miss. Now I wonder if that one was the changeup, because he will throw a change every now and again. The splitter tends to break harder and down. It's tough to tell them apart sometimes, but whatever it was, it worked.
Well, there's your answer right there.
Splitter.
It's the split.
Yep.
And it's going down. Sometimes it'll tumble and go straight down. That one kind of went down and away from Alvarez, and he's upset with himself. Alvarez, he had a pitch to hit the previous one. That one was unhittable.
So now Yuli Gurriel, who was called out on strikes his first time up. Popped up right side. Guerrero running out of room. It's several rows back, and it's yet another 0-2 count, Tabby.
Yeah, he struck him out with fastballs. I think the Blue Jays have learned their lesson against Yuli Gurriel. Don't throw him an off-speed pitch. You mentioned the batting average, the great batting average he has against the Jays in his career. A lot of it built off of off-speed pitches, and he just hammers those things.
The 0-2. And Gurriel wouldn't chase that splitter in the dirt. Ball one. Gurriel's kind of like Brantley, again, a very experienced, cerebral guy, and this is not just a physical battle between these two. There's an element of a chess match here as well.
The mental battle. You know, who is going to outthink the other one? I think Gausman got him in round one by burying that fastball, throwing it right by him.
And he got him. Strikes Gurriel out for the second time. 4 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts for Kevin Gausman, who continues to be at the absolute peak of his craft.
Plate umpire Nick Lentz in the bottom of the 5th inning. And think about this. How often have you seen Vlad demonstrate his frustration like this? This is not something we see from him. He is usually the walk slowly back to the dugout type. So I had to ask him about it after the game, and he said, look, this isn't just one pitch I'm upset about. This is a season's worth of called strikes that I'm upset about. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is top 5 in MLB this year in called strikes that are outside the zone. And think about who we're talking about here. Not only one of the best hitters in MLB, but somebody with a demonstrated understanding of the strike zone. Vlad posted a 25% chase rate last year. Top 31% of MLB hitters in that category. So it is understandable, guys, why he is so frustrated with these calls.
No question about it. We have seen it on several occasions in this series alone. As George Springer leads off the bottom of the 4th in this scoreless game, Valdez will back off the rubber. And then if it keeps happening as a hitter, Tabby, I would imagine you say, well, now I got to start swinging at that stuff. But they're 3 inches off the outside corner. You can't really do much with them.
You can't help out that pitcher. You know, and that's what we heard about Vladimir Guerrero when he was a teenager, that he has a great knowledge of the strike zone. He does a good job. 17 balls called strikes that were off the plate. You know, fans are coming here to watch him hit, and their pitchers can choose to pitch to him or not. If they choose not to, he can't help them out. But then he's got to get the calls.
On the appeal, no swing. 2-1 on Springer with Bo Bichette on deck, and then Vladdy after him. No hits yet for the Blue Jays. The only base runner was a Springer walk in the first, and then he was erased on a double play. Down and in, 3-1. Dusty Baker checking out some video from the last half inning. Springer had one in the zone right there. Fastball in a hitter's count, fouled it off. 3-2.
And again, Valdez against righties, he's going to use that changeup curve fastball. Against lefties, it's curve fastball slider. Doesn't throw too many left on left changeups. Ball's moving all over the place, so it's tough to get the ball up in the air against this guy.
A liner, but playing in the right spot is Nico Goodrum, one down.
Turn your yard into a grand slam during the Outdoor Living Sale, April 28th to May 18th. Only at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
Good crowds all weekend long, and no exception here Sunday for Junior Jays Day at the ballpark to wrap up this series with Houston. And again, the Yankees coming in beginning tomorrow night. Here's Bo Bichette, who lined out sharply to short his first time up and would love nothing more than to get a hit here to make him feel better about things after the error committed in the top half of the inning. Didn't cost them any runs, but you know, you and I both know him well enough to know how much that eats away at him.
Yeah, and he works so hard at his craft also. His last couple of games, I think, Dan, we have seen some very encouraging signs offensively. Starting to square the ball up a little bit better, start to catch the ball out in front, timing. It's been a little bit better at the plate. Those are all encouraging signs, and once you see that ball start to get hit hard, the next thing, you're going to start finding some holes.
A 1-1. Fastball in there, 1-2. Valdez not afraid at all to run that ball in on the hands of right-handed batters. He wants that inside strike. You talked about the ground balls that he gets. A 66.5% ground ball percentage over his career. And that is the highest ground ball percentage in baseball the last 4 years.
Yeah, who's going to win out today? Blue Jays hit a lot of fly balls. They hit a lot of home runs. This guy gives up a lot of ground balls. Going to have to piece it together against him.
Well, 10 outs today, 7 of them on the ground. 2 lineouts and 1 strikeout. So far Valdez is winning the battle, but Gausman is winning his battle just as decisively. The 2-2 out of play. He always looks pretty relaxed between innings too. He's just kind of kicking back, watching the game.
Sitting right next to his catcher. All right, we got this guy coming up. What are we going to do?
Another 2-2 pitch to Bichette and another ground ball. So 11 outs and 8 of them on the ground now for Valdez.
And you've got a defense, an inner defense here in the Houston Astros. Gurriel's won a Gold Glove over at first base. Pena's made a lot of sensational plays. Although he does have 3 errors, he's made a lot of great plays. Diaz doesn't have an error, and Goodrum's a pretty good second baseman. You know, so as the Blue Jays, you're going to have to figure out ways to get it out of the infield into the outfield. Make him get that ball up or start swinging up a little bit more.
2 down for Vladdy. Guerrero bouncing into a double play. He had to reach for a changeup down and away, hit into a double play to end the first inning. Grounded foul, and it's 1-1. And another foul off. Well, he's just not making mistakes.
No, everything's down. Vladdy just wants that thing a little bit higher. I think he sees that slow curveball. He sees it. He just wants him to elevate it a little bit more where he doesn't have to go down and reach for it. If it's up, he can take a level swing at it. Yesterday, they were throwing him a lot of changeups, too.
Up and away. 2-2.
Valdez talking to himself out there. Fromber not real happy with what he did there. Maybe he felt like he was leaking out. Trying to tell himself to stay back just a little bit more.
The 2-2 on the way to Guerrero, and he lines it off the netting down the right field line. I'd love to know what Vladdy thinks to himself between pitches, how he keeps amassing the information. Okay, I've seen that pitch. He tried to do this to me that time. We need to mic up his thoughts.
Yeah,
that'd be good TV.
I would like to listen to that. Listen in on what's going on inside that head. You know, it's not just outstanding talent. Just something center cut. He's just not giving him anything good to hit right now. He's making great pitches, and he is fouling off some really tough ones. Change up, down and away. See the late movement on that thing? Just get that ball up a little bit more where he doesn't have to go reach for it.
Curveball grounded down to third. Aledmus Diaz has it, and Guerrero and the Blue Jays go in order. No score at the end of 4. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie and Joe. May 16th, when Seattle is here, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jose Barrios blue replica jersey giveaway. Visit BlueJays.com/tickets today. Barrios coming off another good outing. He seems to be settling into a nice typical Jose Barrios kind of groove right now.
Had the good breaking ball yesterday. Said he had really good movement on his fastball too.
So he will miss the Yankees. No Barrios, no Gausman against the Yankees, but as you said earlier, no Cole, no Severino on the other side. So I guess that's
hey,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. And what it is with this guy, you got to slow him down. He is really starting to heat up.
1-0 on Kyle Tucker. Sends a ball to deep center field. Springer back, and he's there. Had to come from right center because the Blue Jays have 4 outfielders out there. Probably why Gausman is smiling. That was not your typical play in that spot of the ballpark.
I think if they are playing a 3-man outfield, they don't catch this ball. It's hit too hard on a line, but because they have 4 outfielders and they're deep, that's really an easy play for George Springer to go back, catch it over his right hand, or excuse me, over his right hand there. Kevin Gausman's loving that, but Blue Jays defense, they're putting their guys in the right place and they're hitting it right where they're standing.
Now Espinal back into the infield. Shift on against Nico Goodrum, the second baseman. Swing and a miss at a fastball, 0-1.
So do you write that fly ball right fielder?
No, that's an F8 in my book. He's the center fielder.
He is?
Oh, he's the right fielder. You're right. I'm sorry. He's the right fielder. My bad. That's an F9 in center. Yeah.
But he caught it.
But he caught it in center. Forgive me. So I'm used to him being in center. So, well, I've shown you what I've done. Here, see the arrow? That's an F9 with an arrow pointing to the left.
All right, just to
meaning
remember.
He was over there. Yeah. And what would you do, like, if somebody hit a fly ball to Espinal in the right field corner? That's an.
I don't know.
That's an F4.
F4. 4
an
outfielders.
Arrow pointing up, out, I guess.
4 outfielders.
Yeah.
F4.
Yeah. Yeah, right fielder making a catch in straightaway center.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
The benefits of the four-man.
2-2.
And he made it look easy too.
Yeah.
Got a great jump. Just had to reach up over his left shoulder and haul it in. I'm sure he's made that play a few times in his career in center field.
And that's pulled past a diving Espinal to right field. A base hit for Goodrum, the second hit of the ball game for the Astros.
They got him last time swinging and missing. Again, there's a lot of swing and miss in his game, at least early on in this season. Gausman tried to slip that fastball by him, and he bangs it into right field. He's got some speed now, so you got to pay attention to him over there at first base.
Now Jeremy Pena, the shortstop, struck out his first time up. Gausman with 7 strikeouts through 4 1/3. And thinking about that speed that Goodrum has. Fastball right down the middle for a strike.
To a fastball hitter.
I'm with you, though. I think if I were facing Gausman, or if you were facing Gausman, because I wouldn't have a chance. If you were facing Gausman, if you see a first pitch fastball, swing at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're overthinking.
Yeah, it's not going to get easier from here.
No, it's going to get a little bit tougher. But that's hard. That's what I mean about that. He throws hard enough to get the ball by you where you okay, I've got fastball in the back of my mind. I'm looking for that splitter. I've got fastball in the back of my mind. If he throws it, but you can't, because it's 95. We've seen some 96s and 7s. That's just too much to then emergency hack against him.
A pitcher's duel here at the ballpark between Kevin Gausman and Framber Valdez. No score in the 5th. Runner goes. The pitch is hit down the right field line. Springer a long run, and it's a foul ball. He couldn't get there, but it is just foul down the right field line.
Looked like the Astros played some hit and run right there with some speed at first base and a good fastball hitter at the plate. He sliced that ball. Look at that ball slicing, and Springer's thinking about it, and it's just out of his reach and just foul.
Wow. I mean, like an inch or two.
Mm-hmm.
So it is now 1-2 on Pena. Bounced in, blocked by Kirk. Throw down to first. Got him. Now Goodrum saying no, saying he got in there. And we'll see what happens here.
Some aggressive base running by Goodrum. He took a big secondary lead. He saw the flight of the ball was a splitter in the dirt, and he tried to get that bigger lead. Watch him. He takes a couple of steps. Heads up play by Kirk. Now, does the swipe happen before he gets to the bag? Vladdy positions himself, swipes. It looked like Vladdy hit the bag with his glove, and then it bounced up, and it was a high tag.
Got him in the helmet. I think he tagged him in the helmet, but was the
The call
hand
on
back
first base
in.
is out. Houston is challenging the call.
And the Astros will challenge.
The swipe, Dan, hit the bag,
Yeah.
and then the glove ricocheted up and hit him in the helmet. Now the umpire saw out. Goodrum right away said, I got in.
And they usually know. Call on the field again is out. So do they have evidence to overturn it? If they're not sure, the out call is going to stand. This is close.
Yeah, I want to see when the glove hits the helmet, is the finger on the bag, Heads up play by Kirk to first of all smother that ball, then recognize that that runner had gotten off, and then fire down the first base.
This is the best part, where the two guys involved in the play are standing side by side watching replays on the jumbotron. They don't have a quarrel between them.
Yeah, and what do you think? Here's the throw.
He gets him there.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the hand back on already? I don't know. I think this is going to stand. This is one of the longer ones we've seen so far this season. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, who's on the right, he will be the one making the announcement. He'll turn and face behind home plate, and the announcement will come.
After review, the call stands. The runner is out. Houston loses their challenge.
So the call goes the Blue Jays' way. That's a pickoff. And 2 out in the inning now. The Astros lose their challenge and their base runner.
Yeah, even more important, that base runner over at first base. A little bit too aggressive. He saw the ball in the dirt, and that one step cost him.
So 2 down and the bases are empty, and it's a 2-2 count on Pena as Gausman tries to finish off the Astros here in the 5th. And that'll do it. 8 strikeouts through 5 scoreless for Kevin Gausman.
I was born in a city.
Jays 3 games here at Rogers Center tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Tickets available at bluejays.com/tickets. Ross Stripling, Jordan Montgomery tomorrow. Alek Manoah, Jamison Tyone on Tuesday. Yusei Kikuchi, Nestor Cortez on Wednesday. Charlie Montoyo making a trip down to the barrio in the middle of the game.
Just checking in with the neighbors. Yankees are going to have their full complement of roster, right?
That's what we understand. Yep, that everybody, there were all kinds of rumors about who might not be vaccinated, but it appears everybody is and is coming. That's the kind of thing we'll find out for sure tomorrow. Yankees have been swinging the bats. All the big guys, all the usual suspects. Yankees have won 8 in a row coming into today. They are 15-6 on the season. That's the best record in baseball right now. They are tied with the Royals 1-1 in the 3rd inning in Kansas City right now. So the Yankees will get in here late tonight. Meanwhile, no score in this one. The Blue Jays still looking for their first hit of the game. Gurriel, Chapman, and Kirk coming up here in the 5th against Framber Valdez. Ball 2. Gurriel with a ground ball to 3rd, his first time up. He is hitting .284 on the season. A couple of home runs. Took a strike, 2-1.
I think he just wanted to see that. He usually creams those pitches, 2-0. He just wanted to take a look at that fastball.
And down low, ball 3. So Valdez, who walked the leadoff batter today, Springer in the bottom of the 1st, hasn't allowed anybody to reach base since. Now 3-1 on Gurriel.
I was watching him warm up in between innings. He was really struggling with his mechanics. He was hesitating a little bit. So I'm not surprised that he's bounced 3 balls in this at bat to Gurriel. He was hesitating. He just didn't seem very comfortable out on the mound taking his warm-up pitches to start this inning.
Maldonado just keeps staring at Gurriel, too. He is looking at Lourdes the entire time before he flashes the signs or sends the signs out to Valdez.
Catchers used to do that a lot because batters would peek.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no peeking now, right? Not with PitchCom. Just press a couple of buttons and all that. But they used to look up at the batter to see what they're doing. If they're looking down for the sign.
Another ground ball. This one is short. Hanging a wide throw, but Yuli Gurriel puts the tag on his younger brother Lourdes for the out. It's interesting. Maldonado is taking his transmitter off and holding it between his legs, punching the buttons for the sign, and then sticking it back on the Velcro by his knee every pitch. He's doing it differently than Kirk does it.
Or some of the other teams, we've seen teams put it on their catching equipment so they can look. I guess he has a good feel for it, that he knows what buttons he wants to push.
Yeah, see, he's holding it like a remote control, and he puts it back on. Apparently Kirk has started doing this at times too. We saw Kirk, remember a couple of days ago we talked about him covering it with his mitt as he was doing it. So they're all getting used to the new technology.
You don't see it too much on the wristband anymore.
Matt Chapman, curveball for a strike, 1-1. Yeah, so you're right. Maldonado's got to be comfortable with it because he's not looking at it as he presses the buttons. But I guess it's like a remote control that we use at home. You know where the important buttons are, right?
Where the fastball is and where the curveball is. He can handle that thing quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, watch him. There. Oh, done. I mean, that's faster than the signs.
Yeah.
You know what? Putting the signs down and yes, no. He's getting pretty handy with that thing.
And a full count. Alejandro Kirk waiting on deck. One down in the Blue Jay fifth. No score in this game. And a walk. Just the second base runner of the afternoon for the Blue Jays, and they've both come on walks.
Yeah, and the first base runner since the first batter of the ball game. Twelve straight batters set down by Valdez. George Springer said, "Okay, I like it. Give me a bat."
Kirk struck out his first time up. That's the only strikeout of the day for Valdez. Lines it to short. Chapman is back. Boy, that is 3 line drives the Blue Jays have hit right at an infield.
Again, shades of the Urquidy start here on Friday, where the Blue Jays hit 16 balls, 95 plus on his fastball. They turn on this one, and he's standing right there. I mean, he doesn't even have to move. And some frustration from Alejandro because right there he knows he's not going to get anything for that.
So 2 down for Santiago Espinal, who grounded out his one time up today, and he's going to do it again. The same guy. So a runner left on, and 5 in the books at the Rogers Center. There is still no score in this game.
would have been a hit without the 4-man outfield, and boy, was he bang on. Watch George Springer run this thing down. This ball carried an 89% hit probability. It had less than 4 seconds of hang time, and it is a double to the gap against a 3-man outfield. And this is why the Blue Jays are shifting more than any other club in baseball. They've deployed one in 71% of plate appearances this season, and I actually asked somebody with the club recently, hey, why is that? And it's because the Blue Jays have a lot of faith in the batted ball information they've gathered on opponents in the last several seasons, and they also feel like they have really strong buy-in from their position players right now. And guys, perhaps more importantly, really strong buy-in from their pitchers to shift as often as they are.
Arden, thank you. That's Mark Budzinski, who is in charge of the outfielder alignment. Luis Rivera handles the infielders, but Tabby, a huge change from, I think it was 25% last year. Now 71% of the time they are shifting. And by a shift, that means 3 infielders on one side of the bag. So, for example, against Maldonado, they are in a shift. You see Espinal is to the left of second base. But then the 3-4 thing is a whole other thing with the 4 outfielders. And they do that more than any team in baseball as well. And there have been a number of occasions. You've made a great point. It's not just that a ball that might get in gets caught, like that one by Springer. It's also a time where a ball's hit hard down the line, and instead of it getting to the corner for a double, because there are 4 outfielders and the corner guys are closer to the line, they cut it off and hold them to a single.
Yeah, and we've seen that at least 3 times this year, maybe 4, where sure doubles were turned into singles, and I know for sure 2 of those times the next batter hit into a double play.
Martin Maldonado hits one to short. Bichette drops it, picks it up, and makes the play. 1 down.
So you take all that information, and that's what it's all about. And you can surmise and get information on anything. It's not just one thing right there. You know, one piece of paper that says here's his hot zone and this is where he might hit it. There's all kind of factors that are taken into account. Pitcher, swing path, all of that. As that ball comes up on Bo, he keeps that one in front of him and throws him out. But you take all that information and you put it into the computer and spit out your defense, and it's working.
Here's Chas McCormick. So that shot we had of Luis Rivera, that's where McCormick hits the ball on the infield. He's got the spray chart for McCormick. Mark Budzinski has the outfield spray chart. Luis Rivera moves the infielders around. Mark Budzinski moves the outfielders around every batter.
Every pitch.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes
they will move determined on the pitch count, if anybody's on base, where they are in the game. I mean, there's so many different variables. You're not just running out there and standing in the same place on every pitch.
You can see where it's the darkest red. That means that's where it goes the most. That's why Bo Bichette is in the hole at short. To right field, and this one's pretty well struck. And it's off the wall in play. Springer's got to run it down, and McCormick can make the turn, head to third, and he'll be in there with a triple.
He has had a heck of a series against the Blue Jays. He was on base 3 times in the opening game, a couple of hits yesterday, just off the wall in right field, and by the time Springer can run it down, McCormick with some pretty decent speed is going to leg it out for a triple.
And unfortunately for George, after it hit the wall, it hit him, hit his arm or something, and bounced over to the foul line, and that helped get McCormick an extra 90 feet. And that means the Blue Jays, of course, have to bring the infield in here. Runner at third, 1 out, scoreless game in the 6th. And about the last guy you'd like to see at the plate right now if you're the Blue Jays, and Michael Brantley, because of the way he can handle the bat. This is not a guy who tries to do too much. This is a guy who's going to just try to get this running.
Figure out a way. And I think where we are in the game in the 6th inning, where they are in the lineup, if they end up walking them, I don't think it's the end of the world. Would love to have a strikeout or a pop-up, something like that, where that runner can't advance. But if they end up walking them, I'll take my chances that Gausman will get a ground ball with the next batter.
The 0-1 and 0-2. And he looks like, on the first two swings, he looks like he's just trying to hit a fly ball to left field, but he couldn't get it done, and now he's just got a battle.
So how do you diffuse that now? Maybe a high fastball? And I think Brantley knows that too. That's where this game, the game within the game, right? Between the pitcher and the batter.
Oh, 2. They appeal, but he didn't go. Ball 1. Best opportunity for either team right here. The Astros with a runner at third and one out. And the 1-2. Ground ball backhanded by Bichette, and a nice play to get him. Off balance, but he makes the play, and the runner has to hold.
Got to throw Starr down on that one. He's got to go to his right, and he's got to hear if that runner is running, because he's got to concentrate on that ground ball. He is not running. They're trying to make it go through. He short hops that ball and swipes at it. I mean, that is a tough play, that hop, and then to get it over to first base to get a very good hitter. Nice play.
So a big second out here in the top of the 6th, and now Aledmus Diaz, who again is getting the start. This would normally be Alex Bregman, but a Bregman not in the lineup today. And it's interesting, Tabby, different teams do it differently. Some teams, if Bregman's out, they say, well, let's move Yuli Gurriel up to 3, move everybody up. And other teams are like, let's leave guys where they're comfortable and just slot the replacement guy where Bregman was.
Yeah.
And that's the way Dusty and the Astros have done it. But normally Diaz would be down like a 6 or 7 hitter, and this would be somebody like Yuli Gurriel right now.
Going to do his Alex Bregman invitation this afternoon. He's been on base one time. He's made some nice plays at third base too.
Gausman trying to pitch around a 1-out triple. And not going to be able to do it. A liner into right field, a base hit for Diaz, and the Astros strike first, now leading 1-0 here in the 6th.
It just had that feeling that he was going to try and punch that ball the other way, beat the shift if you can. Blue Jays are going to throw 3 infielders on the left side of the infield, anticipating him pulling the ball, but he was going that other way the whole time. Pushes it to right field. Nobody over there. That is the fastball. There's the inside out swing.
So the first run of the afternoon belongs to the Astros. A McCormick triple, a Diaz single. And now it's Yordan Alvarez, who has seen a steady diet of fastballs today. Espinal from shallow right has plenty of time, and the side is retired. But the Astros have the first run of the day. The Blue Jays coming up in the bottom of the 6th. Guy Lafleur and the funeral for Lafleur will be seen on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning Eastern Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Time. 2 huge losses recently in the hockey world with Guy Lafleur and Mike Bossy. Here at the Rogers Center, it's 1-0. The Astros leading the Blue Jays going to the bottom of the 6th. The Blue Jays looking for not only their first run, just their first hit of the game. Framber Valdez, he has walked 2, struck out 1, gotten a ton of ground ball outs, which is his typical MO. Second big league at bat for Vinny Capra, who grounded out to third his first time up. He'll be followed by Bradley Zimmer and then George Springer.
Should we call a base hit here?
Go for it.
First big league hit, first hit of the game.
Shake up the mojo a little bit.
I'm going with it. He's got a small frame, so Valdez is going to have to get it in there. He's listed at 5'8". Got a nice looking swing again. He's got high on base percentage, high batting average in the minors. He was hitting .304 this season.
Good take on the curveball there, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Made his way through the system. Vancouver, Lansing, New Hampshire, Buffalo. Curveball up, but he swings through it. 2-2.
I asked him if he's any relationship to Nick Capra. I played with Nick Capra in Kansas City, and Nick's been a third base coach for the White Sox. He goes, you know what? I get that a lot. I don't know him.
Yeah.
So
you guys got to figure that out.
So I don't think I'm related to him.
And a swing and a miss. Boy, that was one of the best fastballs that Valdez has thrown today. 1 down.
He gets on top of that thing. He's got that 2-seam mix to it where it just dives straight down. And he's got all those pitches working. There's the 2-seamer along the grip, and it goes straight under that bat. He's got everything working today. Doesn't have a high strikeout total. That's just his second strikeout of the afternoon.
So 1 down now for Zimmer, who grounded out back to the mound his first time up. The Astros will shift on Zimmer, who works it to a 2-0 count. A quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard reveals that the other 3 contenders, if you will, in the American League East are all trailing right now. The Yankees are losing 3-1 to Kansas City in the 4th inning. The Red Sox are down 4-1 to the Orioles, and the Rays are down 8-0 to the Minnesota Twins right now. 2-2 on Zimmer.
The Rays have 2 hits. That's it. 2 hits against Minnesota pitching.
Coming into play today, the Yankees 15-6, the Blue Jays 14-8, a game and a half back, and the Jays a game and a half ahead of the 3rd place Rays 12-9. Red Sox 4th, Orioles 5th. Noisy wave. Zimmer, the only left-handed bat in the lineup today for the Blue Jays. The bench has 3 lefties and then a switch hitter in catcher Tyler Heineman. Tapia, Collins, Cateau also on the bench today. Another 2-2 pitch on the way, and it hit him. Oh, that's going to sting. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and that stings.
Yeah, not a lot of padding right there, and Valdez is really upset with himself. He felt like he had Bradley Zimmer set up for that fastball. He was thinking about outside, and he hits him right in the ribs in the back. Bradley tried to turn away from it, and he just can't get out of the way soon enough. And the reaction from Valdez, very upset with himself. He's still thinking about it.
So Zimmer able to stay in the game. He'll head down to first. And that'll bring up Guy Tabby, who has been responsible for all the offense the Blue Jays have had recently. The 2 homers yesterday.
Yeah, that was it. That's all they needed because they got great pitching. A slider knocked out leading off. That's his 46th career leadoff home run. And then later in the ball game, another one that he goes down and gets. Hits it even further into the second deck. So those 2 sliders that were down and in, all he needed, that's all the Blue Jays needed in yesterday's game. Let's see what Valdez does. Again, he hasn't given up a home run this year, Framber Valdez. And you can see why. Everything's been down today.
So you got 2 starting pitchers, both in their 5th start of the season. Neither one of them has given up a home run this year. Gausman and Valdez. This one will find the seats. It has gotten noisy here at the ballpark with Springer at the plate, and the fans hoping that he is about to do something dramatic yet again.
I talked to him the other day about that, about playing in these types of atmospheres and, you know, the pressure-packed situations. And he said, you know what, I'm going to break it down to its simplest form. I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to have fun doing it. I can't play this game my whole life, so just have fun while I'm doing it.
Oh, he backs that up.
Yeah. Oh, he has fun doing that.
Yeah. He's walking. He's not just talking the talk on that one. He's walking the walk.
In that attitude, I think, hey, I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. Really takes the pressure off as a player. You know, it frees up your mind. It allows you to think. It allows to help you through those at bats right now. You can see him really concentrating and breaking it down what he wants to do against Framber Valdez. So many guys worry about the outcome instead of what they have to do to get that hit.
Zimmer with good speed at first, 1 down. And a throw to first. And Valdez going to have a little pep talk with himself as he walks around the mound.
It's been pretty animated this afternoon.
Yeah.
More so than I ever remember.
Wide open right side of the infield. The Astros shifting on Springer. And it's at the knees for a strike, 1-2.
Changeup. George doesn't like it.
A bouncer to third, to second, 1 back to first, not in time. So 2 down now to bring up Bo Bichette, and this is Bo after his last at bat, and he's feeling it a little bit, and you can understand this is a very proud guy. This is a very talented player. This is a guy who's had a ton of success, and he's trying to work through it.
Yeah, and the game's tough sometimes. Sometimes it's really easy when everything's working, and at other times it's very difficult. You've got to be mentally tough, and you've got to just bust your way through that and grind your way through it.
Boy, the movement on that fastball is something else. That's ball 1. I mean, Maldonado's really good back there.
Yeah.
Look at how hard he had to work to catch that ball.
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know is how he received that ball, how much it's moving. He's usually very quiet back there with very soft hands, and that thing almost took his glove off.
Fouled off right side, 1-1. Two hits yesterday, a hard line out today. As you said, there have been some signs that Bo's starting to turn a corner.
Very, very encouraging signs offensively for him. Hitting the ball hard to right field. He's hit a couple of balls hard to the left side of the infield the last couple of days.
Sends it in the air to right. Tucker's going back, jumps, and it's gone! Well, that'll make them feel a whole lot better. First hit of the day for the Blue Jays, and it's a 2-run homer to give them the lead.
Smiles. A little bit different than what we saw just a couple of minutes ago, and home runs will do that. He smoked that ball his first time up to the shortstop. When he starts to power that ball to right field, you know their hits are just, they're right around the corner. And that tells it all right there. Couple things. Springer hustling to stay out of the double play up the third base line, kept this inning alive, and then Bo caps it with this ball. First hit, first home run off of Framber Valdez this year, right over the wall in right field. That's a great feeling.
And good to see the smile, too.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, he grinds. But a big smile for Bo Bichette after the home run that has given the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead, with 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 runs on 1 hit for the Blue Jays. 1 run on 4 hits for the Astros. And a little bit low, 1-1 on Guerrero.
And I want to emphasize that again. The Springer, I mean, he hit that ball hard to third base. It was going to be a tough double play, but he was hustling and kept the inning alive for Bichette to put the Blue Jays ahead. Thataway, George.
The little things can lead to the big things.
Absolutely.
2-1 on Vladdy. Alex Bregman has made an appearance, not in the lineup today. Ground ball to short. Pena, and dug out by Gurriel. Guerrero retired to end the inning, but not before Bo Bichette. It's his 3rd home run of the season, and the Blue Jays have the lead.
In the last couple of days, he came up to Toronto this weekend just to get a different set of eyes on him. He was working with Pete Walker, throwing a light bullpen on Saturday, talking to Jose Ministral, the Blue Jays head trainer. He's been down, Nate Pearson, with that mononucleosis infection that he suffered towards the end of spring training, but feeling better. A little bit of fatigue still, he told me, but he's going to head back to Florida this week, continue getting built up, guys, for the multi-inning role he's expected to fill when he does return to the club.
All right, Arden, thank you. The Blue Jays hoping to get Pearson and others back in the coming weeks. And now that the Blue Jays have taken the lead, Raimel Tapia is going to go into the game in left field. Vinny Capra in his major league debut today, a natural infielder. He does play left, but he's a natural infielder. But now that the Blue Jays have the lead, Tapia takes over. Well, good to hear that Nate Pearson is progressing, although it still sounds like it's a ways away. And, you know, mono was a tough thing to put a timetable on in terms of when he'll be able to come back. Yuli Gurriel. Gosman got in on in his kitchen, and a weak pop-up for Espinal in shallow right. 1 down in the 7th. Nobody up in the bullpen. Gosman has been terrific again today, and at just 83 pitches right now.
Yeah, he threw 88 his last 2 outings. One of those got him into the 9th. The other one gave him 6 innings. But right now he's cruising, and he's got everything working. And I think you just empty the tank with him this afternoon.
As you can see, 3-4 defense again on Kyle Tucker. So Espinal in right, Springer in right center, Zimmer in left center, Tapia in left. And is that going to stay fair? It is. It's going to hit the bag, and that'll be a base hit for Tucker. You're going to hear about it from Verlander.
Well, and he's going to say, well, that makes up for all those line drives that I hit right at people, and they catch right off the end of the bat. You couldn't roll it up the third base line any better than this. And a good job by Chapman to get over there and run it down.
Fifth hit of the day for the Astros. So Tucker with good speed at first, one out for Nico Goodrum, who was 1 for 2, had a base hit his last time up. Swing and a miss. Astros will head home after the game today, start a week-long homestand, 3 with Seattle, 4 with Detroit. Blue Jays staying home, as we mentioned, to play the Yankees before the Jays head out on the road, a 3-city trip. They'll go to Cleveland for 4. They'll go to the Bronx for 2. And then they'll go down to Florida and have a 3-game series with the Rays. The first matchup of the year with the Rays.
Yeah, before heading home for Seattle, who's a good team. It doesn't get any easier.
Been a tough beginning of the season schedule for the Blue Jays. Runner goes. And Kirk can't get a good grip on it. That'll be a stolen base for Tucker.
You could tell that he wanted to go. He was inching out there. He picked on a great pitch. Another one of those splitters that was in the dirt. Second stolen base of the afternoon for Kyle Tucker. 4th stolen base this season. He's out there. Look at it. He's leaning. And he doesn't even have to slide because Kirk can't make the throw.
So runner in scoring position with a 1 out now. Gosman's got to keep an eye on him. And Bregman has a bat in hand. Maybe Maldonado 2 spots from now, right?
That's exactly right.
Yep. See if Gosman can finish off the Astros before it ever gets that far. One and 2. Nasty splitter there.
Told you the first time up, Nico Goodrum, there's a lot of swing and miss in his game, at least early on this season. He struck out his first time up on that nasty splitter. Then he got the base hit before he was picked off. That was on a fastball, so I'd stay with the same pitch.
Gosman out in front of 1 and 2 now. And the pitch. Stayed with the splitter, but Goodrum didn't help him out this time. 2 and 2. With the bullpen now up, Tabby, the right-hander Jimmy Garcia, the left-hander and Tim Meza.
Just in case they need some help to get out of this inning. Charlie Montoya has pushed all the right buttons. He has really done a good job of getting his relievers in against guys where he feels he has the advantage.
The 2-2. Ground ball to the right side, and it's going to skip off the glove of Espinal, I believe, and into center. A run will come in to score, and Goodrum flies into second on the play as the Astros have tied it up.
Tried to sneak that fastball by him again, and he was all over it. Tucker's going to score easily on that play. Some heads-up base running by Nico Goodrum to get himself into scoring position. Looked like Espinal might have got a piece of that. Got to try and keep this ball on the infield. He slows it down, changes the direction, and when it goes out into no man's land, Goodrum recognizes that, and he gets into scoring position.
And it is scored a double, an RBI double for Goodrum to tie the game. And now the batter is Jeremy Pena for 2 and a couple of strikeouts. The 0-1. Pulled foul, 0-2. It doesn't look like Gausman has lost anything.
Nope.
He's at 91 pitches now. Meza, who pitched in last night or yesterday's game, threw 21 pitches yesterday, but he's ready. Garcia's ready. If Charlie Montoyo decides to make a move. Blocked by Kirk, and the runner holds. The 1-2 now, and he got him. Splitter down and in. Another strikeout for Gausman, number 9.
Yeah, third time this afternoon that he's got young Jeremy Pena with another outstanding splitter. Ball goes straight down. He can't come up with it. And now that the Astros have tied the game, no need for Alex Bregman.
Yeah, Dusty Baker has decided, as you get another look at the strikeout, that now that it is tied, he does not want to take his starting catcher out of the game. Maldonado 0 for 2. And in there for a strike, 1-1. Back-to-back sliders here to start the at-bat.
It looked like he was taking all the way, didn't it? Like a very hittable pitch.
Bregman still holding a bat in case his services are required. One and two. The most pitches Gausman has thrown now, as Tabby mentioned, 88 was his previous season high, at 96 right now. Trying to get through 7 innings for the second time this year. Two and two. And with what he's done today, Tabby, he's now up to 40 strikeouts and 0 walks this season.
That's insane.
It is.
That's insane.
Corbin Burns the record just last year, right? 58.
Yeah.
But 40 strikeouts rather, and no walks this season. Make it 41. Might have been the last pitch he threw, and it was 97. 7 very good innings for Kevin Gausman today. 50 jackpot is closing in on $285,000. It's going to keep climbing through the end of the Yankee series. 3 more days to go. Buy your tickets today. You will also be eligible to win Tuesday's early bird prize, a George Springer signed baseball. Go to BlueJays.com/5050 right now. As is often the case, Springer and Bichette alongside one another in the dugout. If you weren't with us earlier, Bo Bichette with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 6th. The only hit that the Blue Jays have today, but it is tied at 2 going bottom 7. With Framber Valdez still in the game for the Astros to face Lourdes Gurriel, Matt Chapman, and Alejandro Kirk.
If he gets into any problems, though, they got a lot of action going down in that Astros pen right now.
Lourdes 0 for 2 on a couple of ground balls, and you can say that about a lot of Blue Jays today, the way that Valdez has pitched. line to center, a base hit. That's a nice Gurriel swing right there.
I was just going to say, what a beautiful swing he just put on that ball. After the first pitch, it's elevated. Framber Valdez has not made many mistakes this afternoon. That was a mistake, and Lourdes was all over. A little two-seam, maybe tries to cut that ball. Right back through the middle. Look how he stays back on that ball, head down.
Here's Matt Chapman, a ground out and a walk for the Blue Jay third baseman. Another tight game between these two teams. Almost everyone they've played in this year has been like this, and two very good teams. Activity in the Houston bullpen. The right-hander was Phil Maton. The left-hander was Blake Taylor.
And these great games usually comes down to the bullpen, doesn't it?
Yep. Both teams have some good arms down there. Two and one on Chapman.
Outfield is deep, nothing over their heads. Remember, Yordan Alvarez is the left fielder today. He hasn't had any action yet because the Blue Jays have hit so many ground balls. He's normally a DH, just his 6th start in left field this year.
Inside corner with a fastball, 2-2. .97 pitches now for Framber Valdez. Matching his season high. Ground ball in the hole, it's short. Pena to second. They'll get Gurriel as Chapman reaches on a fielder's choice. Meanwhile, at the end of the last half inning, as Kevin Gausman came off the field, clearly done. Handshakes. Here comes the manager, Charlie Montoyo, a pat on the back. Way to go. Great job. And it was 7 very good innings, and it looks like Tim Mesa will be working the 8th.
Now let's get him a run. Try to make a winner out of him today.
Alejandro Kirk will be the batter. A strikeout and a lineout for Kirk today. This is the guy I think about when what can make the lineup look longer? What can take them to the next level? Is this guy swinging the bat with a little bit more authority? I mean, he's getting his hits here and there, and he's, he barely ever strikes out, but can he start doing some damage, getting some extra base hits, driving in some runs?
Yeah, you mentioned the line drive that he had. Again, just like with Bo Bichette, that's a start. For Kirk, he's got a nice swing. He's looking for his first extra base hit of the season. Now would be a great time for that.
Chapman the lead in the 1-1. A roller in the hole at short. Pena can't come up with it, and everybody is safe.
I don't know. Does that make Dusty go to the bullpen after that play? He has caught everything in this series, but he can't come up with that backhand play, and that might be it for Framber Valdez.
And it is. The error on Pena will end the afternoon for Valdez, who was tremendous today, but he will leave it a 2-2 tie with a couple of men on. The signal's already been made. It'll be Maton coming on with Espinal coming up. Jeremy Pena, the rookie, play a really nice shortstop over the last 6 games. But a mistake here. The ball came up on him a little bit. He probably would have had Kirk at first, and the error gives the Blue Jays 2 men on with just 1 out.
Yeah, he's been catching everything. He's been in great position. He has shown great hands and a great arm strength. That time can't come up there now. Phil Maton. It's the 6th game that the Blue Jays have played the Astros, the 4th time that we have seen Maton. Curveballs to righties, sliders to lefties, and he evens up those breaking balls with his fastball.
So Chapman at second, Kirk at first. 2-2 tie, bottom 7, and the batter was Santiago Espinal, who faced Maton on Friday night and popped up. Inside for ball 1. And remember, Raimel Tapia came on defensively when the Blue Jays were up a run for Vinny Capra. So that's Tapia in the on-deck circle right now. And that feels like a win for the Blue Jays, too, to get a more experienced hitter, a left-handed batter to face Maton.
And he's got to face at least 3 batters.
Yep. Just outside, and boy, was Martin Maldonado unhappy about that.
They are throwing him a lot of sliders, a lot of off-speed pitches. That one just off the plate. He was right.
The 2-0. Lined into left, a base hit. Chapman getting the wave. Alvarez's throw, not in time, and the Blue Jays take the lead.
A little bit of inexperience in the outfield with Alvarez. He was playing deep, and I think Luis Rivera picked up on that, but you've got to challenge him when he is in the outfield. The ball was hit right at him. Great break by Chapman. Great break. And Luis going to send him. Great cut at third base. Pretty strong throw, but you got to challenge that arm in the outfield. They do, and they come up. How about that turn right there from Matt Chapman?
Another big hit for Espinal. 3-2 Blue Jays, bottom 7, and here's Tapia. And he lays off low, ball 1. We've talked about it with our colleagues, the Astros broadcasters, over the last 3 days. A playoff series between these 2 teams. I mean, they'd probably all be like this. It'd be fun. It'd be stressful, but it would be fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
All 6 of these games, I guess except Friday's game, had a feel of a playoff type of atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, pressure-packed game, great starting pitching, great defense, just enough hitting.
Yeah, they're feeling the pressure, Tabby. It's getting to Lourdes. It's getting to Lourdes. Gurriel goes to second for 1 and back to first. A double play. Wow. Terrific infield defense, but the Pena error, the Espinal base hit, and it's 3-2 Blue Jays. Home is a Looney Dog night here at Rogers Center, presented by Schneider's. Visit BlueJays.com/LooneyDogs to get this great deal. Yankees are in on Tuesday, so a Looney Dog night then. Meanwhile, another tremendous performance from Kevin Gausman. Still hasn't given up a walk, still hasn't given up a home run. 5 starts into the season.
First pitch strikes, 19 of 27 batters, 10 punch outs for he just keeps climbing the ladder with those. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, kept his team in it. They scored him a run. He is in line now if the bullpen can hold it to win this ball game, and Tim Mesa will come out of the pen. He has pitched against Houston the last 3 times that he has come into a ball game. This is the 4th straight game that he has faced the Astros. And right now, he has not given up a run to him.
21 pitches in yesterday's game. And interesting, the Astros are difficult because the top 6 goes right, left, right, left, right, left. So it's difficult, you know, to pick the guy in the spot. Weak ground ball up the middle. Espinal's got it. One down. You know, you could say, well, maybe you go with the righty because it's right, left, right. But I think what Charlie and Pete are saying, and it makes perfect sense, is no disrespect to Chas McCormick and Aledmys Diaz, the righties, but they're more concerned with Michael Brantley and Yordan Alvarez, the lefties.
Yeah, and that's why you bring him in. And he has pitched, like I said, 4 times now against them. They really haven't done a whole lot against him. That two-seamer has been diving, and that's what you want right now. You want that ball on the ground. You don't want anything hit up in the air.
One down for Brantley. And a strike. Brantley back into the lineup after sitting out the last 2 games, feeling under the weather. He is 0 for 3 today.
You're seeing a lot more of this, aren't you? With PitchCom, pitchers are getting the sign quicker. Batters look up and they're ready to pitch, and that's when they step out.
Just low, 1-1. Neither team scored for the first 5 innings, and each team has scored in each of the last 2 innings. Brantley fouls it off, 1-2.
Nasty. Nasty pitch right in on his hands. I think he got some lumber on that one. He got way in there with that two-seamer, and that's where you want to go. You don't want anything hit in the air. No extra base hits right now.
Tim Mesa throws that fastball 71% of the time, and he threw it again right there to get him. 2 down.
Got to be able to command it, and he has done that the last few years, inside and outside. That's what I like about that. Remember that one he broke his bat, and that one he freezes. A pretty good hitter to get strike 3.
And now Aledmys Diaz at the belt, 0-1. Diaz with an RBI single in 3 trips today. Remember, Alex Bregman is on the bench, so Bregman could still be a factor in this game, but not here, obviously. And Mesa gets another borderline call. Diaz not happy, and it's 0-2.
And I think you got to credit Alejandro Kirk on that one. Charlie Montoya was saying the other day that when Kirk is catching, everything from the dugout looks like a strike. Soft hands, frames it up nicely, and gets the call.
His framing numbers are excellent. They're near the top in the majors, and the Blue Jays feel he especially does a good job at the bottom of the zone, but that he's really come a long way in terms of buying his pitchers some strikes. The 1-2. And a base hit into left center. Second hit of the day for Diaz. Zimmer will hold him to a long single.
He's been a tough out against his former teammates. Aledmys Diaz knocked in the only run of the game for the Astros last time up, and then keeps this inning alive. A little elevated two-seamer, so he's able to get it through the infield. You can see Mesa's reaction is that he didn't finish off that at bat like he'd like to.
So the inning will continue for Yordan Alvarez. We've got a terrific left-handed reliever here in Tim Mesa, and one of the better left-handed batters in the game in Yordan Alvarez. To left field, Tapia And the side is retired. 3-2 Blue Jays going bottom 8. Time for a Blue Jays Central update. Once again, here are Jamie and Joe. Tonight presented by Toys R Us returns to the Rogers Center, and the first 15,000 fans will get a Chewbacca messenger bag. Visit BlueJays.com/tickets today. The Yankees in town for 3 beginning tomorrow night. There will be a definite Star Wars feeling in the ballpark on Wednesday night. But first things first. Bottom 8 in this one. Blue Jays 3, Astros 2. Bradley Zimmer leads it off against Phil Maton. Curveball for a strike.
Again, if he throws that curveball, that's going to be to the lefties. 4 sliders to right-handed batters. So if you see that thing spinning and you're left-handed, it's going to be a curveball.
Zimmer has grounded out and been hit by a pitch. Lifts one to shallow right. Tucker there, 1 down. And here comes Dusty with all the righties coming up now for the Blue Jays. Springer, Bichette, Guerrero. He wants his right-hander in Hector Neris. So one righty for another. He will take out Maton and bring in a harder throwing, higher leverage right-hander in Hector Neris, Tabby, against the top of the Blue Jay line.
Yeah, his fastball is about 3 or 4 miles per hour better than Phil Maton's, and he has closed games out in the past. He's got great numbers. This is the 12th game already. That ties him with Jordan Romano for the most in Major League Baseball. 12 games already, and he loves his fastball. He likes to use it a lot. Over 70% of the time he will use that fastball versus right-handed batters.
And he's going to see nothing but right-handed batters, beginning with George Springer. Springer today, a walk, a line out, and he's reached on a fielder's choice. So officially 0 for 2. Shift on. And the 1-0. And as you might expect, Jordan Romano getting loose in the bullpen. Only needed 9 pitches yesterday, Tabby.
9 strikes, right?
Yeah.
All 9 of them?
Yeah. One and 2.
That's a splitter. He throws that 12% of the time. It's the old equalizer, the split.
One-two pitch on the way. Fastball foul to back. Boy, he's had good swings at both fastballs.
Both of those fastballs. I'm surprised they keep trying to throw it to him.
Alex Bregman, he is still getting loose. He is still in play for a possible pinch hitting assignment in this game. Blue Jays try to add to their lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Springer with 3 home runs against his old team. 1 down in Houston, and then 2 of them here yesterday. No Verlander for the Blue Jays this weekend. One-two again. And a check swing ground ball towards first. Easy play for Yuli Gurriel, and the second out. That'll bring up Bo Bichette. Tabby, take us through his day.
And he's had quite a day. First time up, he hits a bullet that he is robbed of a hit, and he's upset later on after he grounded out his second at bat. But joy as he takes this ball to right field. That is more like it for him with the home run. We get to see the both smile and the big hug from Springer. Nothing like base hits, what it'll do for your confidence and for your psyche, make you feel better.
Framber Valdez and Kevin Gausman in a great pitcher's duel today. With no runs and hardly any hits through the first 5 innings, it's now 3-2 Blue Jays, bottom 8. By the way, 5, 6, 7, Gurriel, Tucker, and Goodrum are the scheduled hitters for the Astros in the 9th, and they'll be facing Jordan Romano. Oh, 0-2.
See how his timing's getting a little bit better on fastballs? Before he was late, it hitting everything right over the dugout or down the right field line. Now he's getting that head out.
And Neris strikes out Bichette to end the inning. So it is on to the 9. Another 1-run lead for the Blue Jays going to the 9th inning, and you know what that means. Board, new lighting, and it all plays very well, doesn't it, when Jordan Romano was welcomed into the ballgame.
Yeah, it's one of the best things that they have done. This is his little entrance, and it has worked so far this season, as Romano has put up stellar numbers in his 12 games. And the Blue Jays are going to ask him to do it one more time. You mentioned that he pitched in yesterday's ball game. He picked up save number 10 through an inning, had a strikeout through 9 pitches, 9 strikes. And Blue Jays are going to lean on him again here in the 9th inning.
It seems like this team plays a 1-run game almost every day. And they've got a 1-run lead right now going to the 9th inning. Blue Jays are 8-2 in 1-run games, so they have played 10 1-run games in their 22 games this year. Yuli Gurriel, the number 5 hitter, will be the first batter for the Astros. And just off the outside corner, ball 1. Gurriel first, then Kyle Tucker, and then Nico Goodrum is scheduled to be the 3rd hitter. But again, remember, Alex Bregman is available and on the bench and on the top step.
He's on the top step, exactly.
Popped up, draws a crowd in shallow right, and it'll be Springer, 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. And there is Bregman on deck for Goodrum. But first it'll be Tucker, and again the Blue Jays into the 3-4. Tucker 2 for 3. Slashes it foul. Oh, guys, lighten up. That's a tough play.
He's playing the carol.
Give him a break. Tough crowd today, man.
Yeah.
Ball slicing. At the knees at 98, and it's 0-2.
'98, right at the bottom of the strike zone again. An assist from Alejandro Kirk.
Down the right field line, Springer will have to play it, or Espinal rather out there has to play it off the base of the wall. And Tucker with his third hit of the game, and this one is a double.
Again, a different player than the one we saw just last week down in Houston. You can see why he is such a good hitter. That fastball, he turns it around right at the base of the wall, and Santiago's got to go and dig it out as it just got trapped underneath the padding out there. He is red hot.
And now Bregman comes off the bench for Goodrum. The tying run at second with one out in the ninth. A slider down and away, ball one. You know, all saves are not created equal. You can come in with a 3-run lead. You can come in with a 2-run lead in the ninth inning. It seems like almost every one of Romano's have been a 1-run situation.
Yeah, no room for error.
2-0. A slider for a strike. 2-1.
Infielders are thinking right now, anything on the ground, if you don't have a play on it, you've got to knock it down. You've got to keep it on the infield. Bregman doesn't strike out a lot. He usually puts the ball in play, so you got to be able to keep it on the infield.
Slider up and in a little bit, backed up on him a little bit, but it's fouled back, and it's 2-2. With Jeremy Pena on deck. He is responsible for the only blown save by Jordan Romano this year.
That's right, the home run.
Romano making sure he can hear the voice in PitchCom from Kirk to make sure they both understand what pitch is coming here. Can't have a cross up here. The 2-2. Fastball, and it's down the right field line, foul.
He's got one of the highest balls in play percentage, does Bregman, so it's going to be tough to strike him out. What you got to think about now, just make a good pitch. You're not thinking about trying to strike him out or anything like that. What feels good, just make a good pitch.
Tucker at second with one out, and again the 2-2, and a check swing foul off and a fastball up and away.
He's feeling that fastball. Bregman just gets a piece of it.
The battle continues. Pitch number 7 on the way. And there will be an 8th. First 4 pitches were sliders. Now he's throwing them 3 fastballs in a row.
And I don't know if I would go back to the slider unless I tried to throw it off the plate now on a 2-2 count. Bregman's really good at recognizing that breaking ball with 2 strikes.
Again the 2-2. Fastball fouled off again by Bregman.
They might be saying, hey, if I'm going to get beat, I'm going to get beat with my best pitch. And Jordan's fastball's been good.
A stressful ninth in both dugouts and all around this ballpark as well. Pitch number 9. Fastball fouled back again. Again, making sure he can hear the sign, if you will, hear the pitch. Tucker with a 1-out double. Here comes pitch number 10. To right field. Springer back. He's got it! What a catch by Springer!
When that ball left the bat, I didn't think he had any shot at making that catch. This is just his second start in right field, but he keeps his eye on it and looks it into his glove. He told me the other day, he says, I'm using a new glove this year. I got to make sure when the ball goes in there that it stays in there. And then the presence of mind to come up, fire, and to keep that runner at third base. What a play.
Robbing Bregman. Tucker does come to third. Now they are an out away. And the batter is Pena, who homered on a low fastball off Romano last weekend in Houston. Fastball 0-1. Up and in, almost hit him. Boy, how many of these games have felt like playoff games in the first month of the season?
It might say May 1st, but it feels like September 1st, doesn't it?
A ball and a strike on Pena. Fouled back, 1-2. Romano sets. Tucker down the line. The 1-2 pitch down and away to even it up.
In that at bat that he had in Houston when they got walked off, it was slider, first pitch. He fell behind 2-0, threw the fastball, and he hit it to center field out of the ballpark. Now Jordan's saying, okay, I'm going to give you my best pitch.
Over 31,000 to the ballpark today, and they are on their feet. The 2-2 pitch bounced foul.
You know, I think if he wants to throw the fastball, I think Pena has proven that he can hit the low fastball. Let's see if he can go upstairs and hit the high fastball. It'll look very inviting. Maybe he can get a swing and miss on it.
Through 9 pitches to get the save yesterday. He's already needed 20 in this inning after that long battle with Bregman, trying to finish it right here. Again, the 2-2. Got him! And the Blue Jays win another one-run game. Romano with save number 11. And for the second weekend in a row, the Blue Jays take 2 out of 3 from the Astros.
In every one of the games, pressure-packed, playoff type of atmosphere with great defense, clutch hitting, superior pitching from both sides. Boy, if these two teams meet in October, it's going to be a lot of fun. But so far here on May the 1st, these two series have been awesome.
Another big win for the Blue Jays. They still have not lost a series this season. 7 series, 6-0-1 in those 7 series. And a record of 15-8 now, with the Yankees coming to town tomorrow night. 3-2 final. Let's send you now to Blue Jays Central once again. Here are Jamie and Joe.